And despite restrictions and curfews, positive cases of COVID-19 continue to increase in the department. Here is the full report.
Today, the National Health Institute reported a total of 96 new cases in the department, which is added to the 205 total active cases in the archipelago, according to the report of yesterday, May 13, which brings the total number of cases to around 4,399 to date. 3 deaths was also reported, adding to the 65 lives that the coronavirus has claimed in the department. 3 deaths were also reported, adding to the 65 lives that have been taken to the coronavirus. On the other hand, the ICU COVID is occupied with 14 of the 17 beds available, and the COVID floor is 100% occupied of the 25 beds available. Finally, the report of vaccinated people in the archipelago after yesterday closed with 11,735 people immunized. In view of the health emergency in the department, the departmental government recommends to strictly maintain the biosecurity protocols and respect the restrictions and the curfew decree in order to overcome the difficult health situation on the islands.
The Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation visited the department to discuss various issues, including a project for women and a project that seeks to integrate local agents to develop projects through science and technology.
First of all is the Expresarte Conciencia program, which is a program for children that seeks to promote vocations for career in mathematics and science.
We're now on the island of San Andrés working with children from 7 to 14 years old in our program Expresarte Conciencia, which is a program that seeks to promote the vocation of creation of art, science and culture to solve the impacts that the pandemic poses through the knowledge and the optics of the children.
The minister is also promoting the project Más Mujer, Más Ciencia, Más Equidad, which is a program aimed at closing gender gaps in scientific and technological training through leadership training and creativity components. Also, in the afternoon, they made the call for bioeconomy for the islands, which will have an investment of more than 5,000 million pesos.
We have a commitment from the ministry to work with local agents in a strategy that also allows them to give direction to the island with the assets they have, such as the sea, and all the assets that the island has can be developed through science, technology and innovation. And we started with our blue technology strategy, in which there are projects from all over the island.
This project seeks to take advantage of the waste from the landfill to have materials for the reconstruction of roads, also decreases the environmental impact, and is an income opportunity for the islanders.
And the ANATO Tourism Fair is approaching, the most important tourism event in the country, in which the departmental government is preparing to participate and thus help the reactivation of the tourism sector of the islands.
The archipelago is preparing for the ANATO 2021 Tourism Showcase with a staging that seeks to highlight the culture from Creole gastronomy and artistic expression of the Rizal people. With these elements, the departmental government seeks to attract new visitors to the island through this important tourism event.
Este año San Andrés podrá contar con un stand.
This year San Andrés will have a stand where we will be able to bring 16 associations and enterprises of the tourism sector. This stand will be shared with our sister island of Old Providence, so we will have the participation of 8 associations from the Department of San Andrés and 8 associations and enterprises from the island of. This year, we are going to promote our tourist destination, our sea, our gastronomy.
The head of the tourism portfolio indicated that with the presence of the archipelago of San Andrés in ANATO, it is expected to help the reactivation of the island, allowing more travelers to know about the destination. Likewise, the associations that make presence in the island can generate new business links with other companies.
Esta feria o esta vitrina.
The fair, the showcase, is the most important we have at national level. Therefore, San Andrés must be part of it, and that is why we will join our best efforts to be able to participate in this fair.
The ANATO Tourism Showcase will be held from June 16 to 18 at Corferias in the city of Bogota. In addition to the on-site version of the showcase, the virtual version will be held from June 23 to 25 as a complement to the event strategy. This allowing businessmen who cannot attend the fair to have the opportunity to consolidate their business contacts and create a stronger offer of travelers.
And in other news, an interinstitutional alliance was forged between our departmental government and the government of Antioquia, where after meetings it was possible to agree on the creation of strategies in the areas of health, infrastructure and housing, taking into account the progresses made by this department in these areas. Both governors expressed their satisfaction with this alliance.
He tenido unas reuniones muy importantes.
I have very important meetings, especially with the governor of Antioquia, who has opened the doors for me to receive support in many areas, and I will take advantage of the opportunity that God gave me to be surrounded by great people. Of course, San Andres needs a lot of help, not only from the national government, but also from the friendly departments that can help us with many projects.
The governor of Antioquia assured the creation of an agenda between both departments, which will allow us to start joining efforts for the benefit of the island and community of Antioquia.
Vamos a unir capacidades y esfuerzos.
We are going to join capacities and efforts to support our brother department of San Andres. We are attentive to create an agenda so that together we can get out of these complex moments we are going through.
With the union between both departments, the hope is to advance in the economic and social development of the archipelago that has been hit hard by the hurricanes, also by the pandemic.
2,000 million pesos were delivered to the departmental state social enterprise to mitigate the financial impact it is going through due to the crisis that the country is experiencing, and therefore our department.
On the instruction of the governor, Everett Hacking Chagrin, a sum of about 2,000 million pesos were transferred to the departmental hospital state social enterprise to mitigate the financial situation of the entity. The Secretary of Finance said,
A few days ago, these resources were transferred to the departmental hospital, to our S.S.E. This is a project that the governor has always taken into account, and around 2,000 million pesos were transferred to mitigate the financial situation a little, while the efforts for the development of the departmental S.S.E. are being carried out.
According to Viloria, these resources should leverage the S.S.E. during this crisis that the department is going through. The committees in charge and the Health Secretariat will verify that it is done in the right way.
The Secretariat of Tourism continues with the campaign of ornamentation and beautification of different spaces in the downtown area. This time it was the term of the facilities of the Secretariat of Tourism, which workers with paints, brushes, shovels, rakes and brooms gave a new face to the work center that also serves for tourists to learn a little more about the culture and traditions of the island, besides being the area for artisans to exhibit their works. It is also important to mention that another space that has been beautified by the Secretariat of Tourism is the space known as Morgan's Canyon.
And now we continue with all the information from our sister island of Providence and Catalina. Yesterday, the Coralina Environmental Corporation began again the closure of the ring road in the sector of Pash Bay and High Hill between Freshwater Bay and Southwest Bay, seeking to protect the crabs since they are migrating once again.
After almost a month of having made the first closure of the road for the migration of crabs, it is closed again with the arrival of the first rains. The road portion goes from the last part of Freshwater Bay to the entrance of Southwest Bay and will be closed for the time necessary during the closed season.
We just shut the road between Captain Brian Hotel till the entrance of Southwest Bay because, well, right now we know so we're in a beta. And we identify, say, plenty crab. They come down when time, leakages will have more, things like that.
The ecologists made a call not only to the islander community but also to the reconstruction contractors to be aware of the protection of the crustacean.
We make a call into the community and to all the people who have different contracts in the island right now, for them got a little bit more care when they transit during in this area. Well, we all know the crab is important for we as a community, as for we culture, for we gastronomy, for we ecological part. So it's really important for we try to protect them.
On the other hand, an islander complained on social media about the irresponsibility of some drivers.
Desde las 4 de la mañana están trabajando.
From 4 a.m. they are working, and I understand that they are here to help the island with the reconstruction and all of it. But I don't see it right that they are wiping out our resources, because that is our resources, and they will leave at some point, but we will have to stay.
The closure of the stretch is being carried out from 6 p.m.
And with the visit of the director of the National Unit for Risk Management, several actions taken during these days in the municipality were published.
During the visit to the municipality by the Unit for Disaster Risk Management Director Eduardo Jose Gonzalez, he met with the Mayor Jorge Norberto Gari to establish the roadmap to follow to mitigate the impact arising from any natural phenomenon in the face of the upcoming hurricane season in the Caribbean. Through social media, the following was said.
It has been established as of June 1st to activate the Tropical Cyclone Alert Protocol, as well as the realization of evacuation drills, so that the inhabitants of the island know how to react to the threat of a cyclone and can safeguard their lives.
On the other hand, an assessment was made on the food aid allocation in the month of May to the community as a part of the support they are receiving in the framework of the reconstruction phase. According to the report, 1,018 of the 2,347 food aid credit have been delivered, which is equivalent to almost 50% of those allocated. The food aid has a value of 400,000 pesos and are being delivered in 3 of the 5 supermarkets on the island.
And now let's continue with all the cultural news of our department. With the objective of highlighting the secrets and traditional techniques of the rice gastronomy, an island cooking workshop was held in the department.
The Bank of the Republic held a virtual island cooking workshop led by Chef Reggie Archibald from Old Providence, who highlight the culinary techniques of island food, as well as the importance of preparing typical dishes correctly so that they do not lose their traditional essence.
We are creating some plate from, not creating, we prepare some plate from traditionally. We call it bami and the fried stew fish, and we talk about it also, how we preserve the for typical food and how we cook it before we had refrigerators and all those things. Today we prepare fried stew fish with bami in a coconut milk sauce, and in the next program or the next presentation we have to present some fritters with cheese. These plates are very essential in our gastronomy because the tourists them not only come enjoy the sea, they come enjoy for typical food and for typical things them. Not only the foods, the horse race and all those things also. So, and them not come eat the same thing when they eat home. Them come eat something what we prepare here.
With this workshop, the Bank of the Republic seeks to highlight the oral memories around cooking, and in particular around recipes and how these are transmitted to new generations.
And the national government continues to provide support for the community dedicated to the arts. On this occasion, new credit lines for the reactivation of culture and art were announced.
With the aim of providing greater liquidity to people involved in the arts, the Ministry of Culture and Bancoldex announced the creation of the credit line Cultura Adelante with a total quota of 6,000 million pesos aimed at cultural and creative activities, including audiovisuals and those associated with the performing arts. The credit resources may be used to make investments for the modernization of the companies, purchase of machinery, premises, and adaptations of venues. This line will be available through commercial banks and other financial intermediaries that have a quota in Bancoldex, who will set up the conditions for the delivery of the amount that may be up to 300 million pesos for interest individuals and companies.